1,000 times better as not follow any path. People who usually don't have ulterior motives, they have open motives, you know. It's like robbers, you know, yeah. You know, they just say, my motive is to steal your money, you know. Please don't think I'm a chauvinist. I don't think I'm a chauvinist. But this one Western intellectual, he made a comment. He said, you know, robbers, they threat you. Give me the money or I will take your life. Women, they want both. Money and life. Anyway, please, this is bodily oriented saying that address the body. That's why it's for me interesting to throw this kind of things in and see who's getting upset first. You know who's getting upset first? The one who's identifying himself with the body, of course. Because those who don't, they go, yeah, sure, that's how it works in the material world. And those who identify themselves with the body get immediately insulted. You mean me? You mean me? Even comes of a saying even for that. Well, then you feel so strongly addressed. There must be something real about it, isn't it? They have a saying, if the shoe fit, wear it. You know, if you find you strongly being so involved in this issue and this subject, well, it must be somewhere close on your mind, isn't it? Or it must be some, you know, like you speak about, I don't know what, you know, you speak about the danger of sex life. Well, what do you mean, danger of sex life? Because he's engaged in it all the time. Or there's this nice example of a, you know, Grihastha waking up at night hearing some noise in his house. It's dark, so he goes out there and he goes, who is there? Who is there? And down there on the bottom floor you hear the voice, I am not stealing, I am not stealing. Well, why is he saying that? Because he's stealing. That's how you expose a thief. He goes, I'm not stealing, I never stolen this thing. You know, why are you doing here in the middle of the night? Just visiting, just looking. You know, this is how you expose a thief. It's funny when you preach sometimes, when people strongly respond to a certain issue. That means they're exposed. You know, hey, we got him. You know, I always do preach about this impersonalism. Yeah, because you have a problem there. And this is actually how we were trained. I notice there is a generation shift. Nowadays the devotees don't get trained into the need to address the needful. They get trained into need to address anything they want. We were not trained actually to address in Krishna consciousness what we want. We were trained to address what is needed to be addressed. This is Sankirtan, so beautiful because it trains you exactly on that line. You know, if I would have gone, you know, 76, sitting in a Sankirtan and giving lectures about Ayurveda, they will throw me out, you know. They will just beat me with the spoons and right away in a car. What are you talking about? What is Ayurveda going to do to me now when I walk on the street and distribute books? What is it going to do when I want to preach? Oh, we have to be first completely healthy, you know, and peaceful, and loving, you know, and we have to be forgiving. Yeah, okay, I'm forgiving, I forgave you. Actually, you told me yesterday I'm an idiot, I forgave you. But what am I going to do when we are forgiven? Well, we will keep on forgiving. Vaishnava is always forgiving, and he's forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving, and then he's forgiving. He's forgiving, the whole world is forgiven. Everybody is forgiven. Hey, wait a minute, this is like Bhagavad Gita first chapter or second chapter, where are we now? Because Arjuna wanted to forgive everybody everywhere, you know that. And Krishna said, no, these people may be forgiven only in one way. They have to be all killed. That's forgiveness. I'm not saying we should do that, of course not. We don't have the means, and it's not the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But forgiven, love, my God, in the history of mankind, you know how many people came up with this agenda? it's interesting how all the love preachers and all the forgiveness preachers were all shot and killed. Hardly with any exception. Gandhi was going, come children, let's be non-violent and free India by non-violent resistance. That's not a new idea. Gandhi didn't invent that. Well, he got shot. That's not exactly non-violent. Then came the hippies. It was a slogan in the hippie world. Just imagine there is a war and nobody goes there. It's a fact, actually. If all people massively decide we are not going to fight, what will the leaders do? They will not fight because they are cowards. So there's nobody to put into fight because nobody wants to fight. They can threat people, and I will shoot you. With whom? Nobody wants to fight. That thing, of course, never happened. So what happened? No more hippies. And more fighting. How much love and forgiveness was preached in the name of Christianity. And what was the result? More fighting. More killing. Ferocious killing. In the name of Christianity. Oh, so much killing. The Muslims have an easy path. Muhammad said this religion is going to be spread by fire and sword. Great. They have it right away there. Yes, we are very loving. To everybody who is Muslim, who is not Muslim, we kill them all. That's it. And then nowadays, of course, they try to mush it up and no. The essentially is very peaceful, very peaceful. Why not just be honest and truthful? So there are so many, the desire of honesty, peace and love, and this is natural. Because actually we are supposed to be like that. But in a spiritual world, not in a material world. They asked Prabhupada, when will be the peace in this world? Prabhupada said, never. Forget it. Yeah, but what about the hungry children in Africa? So they will die. It was shocking times of Prabhupada, how quick the answer came. Why? Because it will not change unless we don't change the law of karma. That can be changed. And how can it be changed? Well, surrender to Krishna. He is actually the master of the law. He can change anything. And this is the essence pointed out. So one should be always very careful when people start to, define Krishna consciousness as being dependent on material conditions. Prabhupada struggled with that right away from the beginning. That's where the unsteadiness comes from. Passion. That's where the dictate of three modes of material nature comes from. Because we always expect the adjustment of the material modes so we can actually serve Krishna better. Prabhupada said it doesn't even matter where you are. It doesn't matter which country, which place, nothing. If you want to preach, you can. Of course, there are some places which Prabhupada said, actually, what are we doing here? But not because the place was entirely hopeless, because he said we have a limited manpower, a limited resources, why don't we better invest it over here? It's better, right? But from spiritual point of view, we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to move anywhere. We are just right now here, so let's do it here. When we are somewhere else, then we'll do it somewhere else. How many devotees are traveling around the globe, just to find a place where I can serve kind of Krishna more better, isn't it? This movement is a huge gypsy camp, where people often in a very uncontrolled way just migrate and travel around and therefore we kind of start something and close something. I can give you a guarantee, you take it back to Bullet magazine, you go into the address department. Quite a number of addresses don't exist anymore, and then the other ones, nobody picks up the phone. You just have a test. Why? Because we are always migrating. When you travel around, you get the picture, It's so precious, you come to the same place 1 year later, and there's the same devotee sitting there, doing the same service. You get excited. Wow, that's amazing! Because usually when you travel around, you come to a place, where is he? Or he moved to India. And where is he? Or he moved to his mother. And where is he? Shh. all the time. The Vedic culture means nobody goes anywhere. That's Vedic culture. The only one who travels actually is the sannyasis, sometimes assisted by brahmacharis, because they are preaching. That's all. For the sake of preaching, okay. But the rest is just located, it's grounded here. And even they follow Artha, Dharma, Karma, Moksha, well, that's some progress. So we are not discouraging this process altogether. It's just it should lead to the essence, to the meaning. What is the essential meaning of the whole thing? What's the use to buy yourself a car if you don't drive? And what's the use of driving when you cannot achieve your destination? So what is the destination? Therefore Maya's trick is that the important becomes unimportant and the unimportant becomes important. That's how Maya plays the game. So many issues to be addressed, so many subjects to be solved, very important. Like you go in a media, Kamis, they always throw in, they do it on purpose, they throw in a subject. It's very important. I could not give better examples, Swedish news. You don't have the luxury here to watch Swedish news, fortunately, on the internet. So it's every evening, the news. Good evening. The biggest news. There was a new toilet open in Lulu. You think, what? What is this to do with me? And the local council raised a very important issue. In Stockholm, it should be defined how many toilets we should have in each single town. We have no lovers. So let's discuss now. Serious issue. What are we going to do with the dogs too? It's very big. Another serious issue. This goes like news like this. And at the end of the news, by the way, there was some atomic bomb explosion, in the backyard. I don't know, somebody just shot. If they say something at all. News can be made. I wish just, accidentally open a Czech webpage. I couldn't believe this. This is the biggest Czech webpage wherever everybody goes. And there was a big news that the real estate in the city of Prague is becoming really very expensive. And as an illustration to that was the main square in Prague, the devotees performing Harinam. What has devotees to do with real estate market? Now this was done purposefully. If you know the Czech mentality, there are so many pictures of Prague. Then why publish on the biggest server where everybody instantly, 15 million people can see that? Picture of Harinam. It was there for 1 hour. People call in, hey, what does the Krishnas have to do with, real estate? Are you nuts? This is religious propaganda, Probably it was. Because there was a connection to these people who are working on these pages and this. They said, hey, why don't you put this picture there? Just, let's see how long it lasts. So normally this headline pictures, they last for half a day or something, and they change it again. This one lasted for 1 hour. Because everybody was just, what does this to do with real estate? We used to devotees, Haribol, So that was taken down and replaced by some more important news. Some more important news. The minister of the country said about the president, he's an idiot. Okay, all right. And then he said this, and he said that, and he said this, and he said that, and next day he said something else, and people watch this all the time. In India, when I see these Indians reading these newspapers, it's just so worthless, It's a mess. In Delhi they said that, and in Calcutta they said that, and another guru was exposed to have 20 girlfriends. I heard this nowadays quite the headlines, isn't it? Something in India. So many cheating gurus being exposed. Of course. Because they are, tell you quite frankly, of how these guys are pretty good. They have more money and they always gone to that. Don't be illusioned, we are the kings of the world. They are Mayavadi gurus and they are really guys who have so much assets. Just by talking nonsense flattering people. In India, it's so easy to cheat, and people always give, yes, donation. So, it's so easy to cheat. In the West, not so. You have to really provide some sense gratification. You have to give some solid eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Then you can collect. At least some solid promise. So in Krishna consciousness, we should not be amazed or we should not be surprised that we are not receiving such a big applause, because it's aiming exactly on that point, from the first minute. Surrender to Krishna fully. There's no material needs, there's no material circumstances, just get to the essence. So it is quite sure. Prabhupada was always focusing on quality, not on quantity. He said, if I would compromise this, I could have millions of disciples. But I didn't. And still, Prabhupada was already in his time struggling constantly with this push from the side of his disciples to turn Krishna consciousness into something material, something senses inspired. It was right away starting with the Harinam party, the first Harinam party, which could have offered to become a professional Harinam party. After the first record came out, the Krishna record, they got a contract. There was a guy coming and said, I offer you a contract. I will make you two professional musicians. I will promote you around the whole world, and you will be the Hare Krishna band. Prabhupada said, forget it. He liked the idea of a traveling Sankirtan party all over the world, but he said, no, we are not professional musicians. No. And we are not professional booksellers. And we are not professional businessmen. And he got results of this. When this mentality started to penetrate devotees, immediately problems started. In my lecture, Prabhupada was so provoked. He said, Sankirtan is not jewelry sales. Yeah. Can understand what was going on here in the north. Or Europe as such. There was a time in Europe, there was book distribution going on, definitely. Big. But along with that, it was even a book distribution. It didn't make it actually to establish these temples. Still not enough money. So how do you get more money? You start to sell something else. And that's when the real problem occurred. Then big buildings came up with backed up by book distribution and preaching spirit. And then our consciousness of devotees is also changing. Hey, how much money did you make? Money. So all the managers started to compete. Who was the first one with a mobile phone? It's important in Scandinavia. When I came to Scandinavia, I was just completely new to the game because I just came straight out of the Sankirtan man. I was amazed. The manager asked me immediately, you want a car? I said, well, I need a car. Oh, I can give you a car. And I was one of the first people actually in Sweden who had a mobile phone, in the car installed. It was not something you can carry with you around. It was a phone box that was hanging in front. It got a normal phone with a wire to it. And you had to dial 3-4 numbers and you were connected to the operator. Then you had to dictate your phone number and he connected you. That was a mobile phone in a car. Yeah. And you had the antenna on the roof, this with magnet, you looked like a military man. And I remember I had a blue Saab, I traveled with that in Norrland, in North Sweden. And it was great because everybody thought I'm a police. Because I had a blue car color of the police, but there was nothing written on the car. And I had this box, which was kind of resembling the same box police has to check your speed, measure, the radar was checking your speed. So whoever saw me coming with a car was immediately slowing down and moving on the side, with a fearful look. I was almost enjoying it, and I was driving 140 kilometers, no problem. So, so this was, who has the mobile phone? Who has the car? Who has this? And this mentality comes when you start to collect money. Just money-oriented thing. And competition came up, envy comes up, all this comes up. If you forget a simple preaching spirit, one should always remember that and not be allured. Even Krishna may give lots of money. In India, I would say this is the problem. Too so much money. And immediately it brings corrupt dealings. If it's not instantly invested into preaching. The Prabhupada said, yes, we want money. There was a report in India. He said, Guru, he is so pure. As soon as he sees money, his hands go like this. Instantly. Prabhupada said, what a fool. When I see money, my hand go like this. So it's not a question of not getting the money, the question of having to do with it. And also the process how you get it. So we had a very practical example of that. What it means to get in an illegitimate means money in the name of Sankirtan and to spend it in an illegitimate way. And then the result is Krishna arranges, now we are happy to get little money for Bhoga. Somebody gives a donation, 100 krona a year to it. Good. And we go, thank you very much. He gave 100 krona. This is the standard. Because we didn't earn, we didn't deserve more. When Krishna sees we deserve more opportunities can arise. Why not? Krishna is not poor. He can arrange anything. As Prabhupada told to one reporter who asked, where do you get the money from? Prabhupada said, Krishna is providing. Yeah, I expected that answer, but hey, how do you make that money? Prabhupada said, Krishna is providing. Swamiji, please, can you be honest, real? Where do you get the money? Prabhupada looked at him very beautifully and said, well, Krishna is in the heart of all living entities. He is in your heart too. So when Krishna dictates, give $1,000, he will give. The reporter didn't ask anything anymore. He got scared. Ooh! When Prabhupada said such a thing, it was so pure. The reporter backed away immediately. But it's a fact. This is what it is. So we should rely on that principle and depend on that principle, not on some artificial means principle. And this way, we can stay connected, at least in our minds, and at least with our desires, more and more work towards the goal of making exclusively Krishna to our goal, and not our personal agenda. There's some questions?
You were just talking about this, how we fell down from the spiritual world because of subtle desire and like small conditions, not this way, but this way. So I see so many like conditions.
Because this actually constitutes our individual freedom. If you wouldn't have that, then we would be just remote control gizmos, Krishna goes, Rasalila, and everybody goes, this is not like this. There's always an individual freedom, always. And this is what Krishna is not getting involved with. You have always a choice. That's a really subtle one, It's just a little thing, little thing. That Prabhupada is so pure that a little thing, and you're already disqualified. When you go to the Brahma, everybody is born like Brahma, then you have a really big time project here to serve Krishna. You can create universes, you can have a big time position. Yeah. Of course, all of Krishna serves. Yeah.
I was just thinking, because these conditions and this Ahaitukya for example, like one day one might be sick or have some physical deficiency and say, hey, today I cannot do my service. So that is also a condition. And devotional services.
But this is dictated upon you. You didn't create that in that sense that you arrange for that. Of course, if you are really stupid, you can. But this is part of living in this world. It comes upon you to tolerate the truth. and just to tolerate. It's just difficult. For a devotee, very difficult. Devotees usually are very intolerant people when it comes to disease and this kind of things, because they want to serve Krishna, you know. And even Srila Prabhupada, he was, you could say, not the ideal example of absolute tolerance, because he was completely overdoing it all the time. Pushing his fragile body around until it completely disintegrated. He was going to, once him down, a guy coming in my room said, I know Prabhupada, very nice. I treated Prabhupada. Prabhupada loves Ayurveda. I can give Ayurvedic treatment. I treated Prabhupada. I told him, get out, immediately out. Using Prabhupada as a visit card for his Ayurvedic skills, which is even historically spoken wrong. And Prabhupada didn't dismiss Ayurveda. Actually, he glorified it as a science which is far superior to the allopathic path. But he never said our service depends on that. Whenever they brought this medicine to him, he just said, you know, when the doctor left, he pat the bottles and he said, and the servants asked him, so Prabhupada, the analysis was given, this is the medicine, you will take it? Because he will see about that. And everybody knew he will never take that medicine. So, you know, he was really bad patient. Why? Well, he was a whole life in that business. He knew what a nonsense, you know, you can sell to people with a false hope they become healthy. So he was very skeptical. And nowadays, it's just, you know, if somebody has to make a business with it, then it's completely okay, it's his business, you know. But please, don't present it like that's the way path back home, back to Godhead. There's nothing to do with that. It's not spiritual, really. Even it's actually issuing from Dharmantari, yes. Krishna gives so much, he gives the Vedas, he gives Ayurveda, he gives so much Veda, but we are following Bhagavatam. So we do what we can. People don't even know what it is, Ayurveda. It's a whole lifestyle. You know it from India when they come, they go, oh, you have to take 4 o'clock on this cup of milk and that time and this time and that time. You realize my whole day I will just spend putting some liquids in and take this powder and that powder. And then, you know, and then this diet and that diet and no. And at the end you can just sit there and eat various powders and pass through. That's all. Not very palatable idea for a devotee. Prabhupada was even terrible. They asked him, you cannot eat this. Prabhupada liked to eat. He liked to eat prasada. And the doctor said, no, you cannot eat this. He said, when he eats this fried thing, he will die. Then Brahmananda came in, Prabhupada said, Brahmananda coming, very good cooking. You know, I want kachori. Everybody was going, kachori, oh, you will die. And he did eat kachori. And it doesn't mean that he was very healthy thereafter. The doctor said, no even dab, no coconut drinking. You know. And then Prabhupada again called his servant and said, yeah, I like to drink dab. And the servant said, Prabhupada, the doctor said you should not drink that. He said, Prabhupada, I want to drink that. And then Govinda Dasi came in, and she knew exactly. She opened her eyes and said, Prabhupada! And he took the cup and drank it all X, which he normally never did. All at once, just bang! And he was really angry, and he said, I am not Dr. Das, I am Krishna Das. They backed away. It was scary for the servants, they were traumatized.